Hi there, my name is Jonah. I'm an acupuncturist, a bodywork therapist, and a dedicated yogi. Through my line of work and my committed yoga practice for over 10 years, I have learned to see all yoga asana, the yoga postures, as a form of therapy. Physical therapy, if you will. Why? Well, because every body movement, every yoga asana require two things: an engagement of a specific muscle group, and two, the consequential stretch of the supporting muscles that have an opposing action. Take, for example, our biceps and our tricep muscles. They're a pair that have opposing actions, but they support each other. Every time that we flex or shorten our bicep muscle, our triceps is being stretched. In the same way, every time that I contract or shorten my triceps, my biceps is being stretched. And so really, this is the point of all yoga asana. Yoga asana essentially teaches us or gives us the opportunity to deliberately control a certain muscle and simultaneously stretch the opposing group of muscles that support the muscle that we're focusing on. Even when we take into consideration a yoga posture that may seem random or that it seems advanced because of just how random our body placement is, we discover that these positionings, these special placements, serve a purpose. They help us engage a specific type of muscle that maybe we usually don't necessarily need in our everyday life, and it gives us the opportunity to really isolate it and engage it. And so knowing anatomy, knowing what muscles are being engaged in our yoga asana practice can be useful, especially in the prevention of injury, because we have in mind what that muscle is capable of doing, and we know its limits. Going back to our example of the biceps and tricep muscle, there's little risk in overextending either of those muscles simply because of the anatomical structure of our elbow joint. However, if we take another type of joint, say for example a ball and socket joint, such as our hips or our shoulders, the glenohumeral joint, there's a higher risk of injury simply because of the wider range of motion. And so whenever we encounter a posture such as Gomukhasana, where we're required to really put emphasis on the rotator cuff muscles, a way to prevent any type of injury would be first identifying what muscles are responsible for the rotator cuff movements. An easy way to remember what muscles make part of the rotator cuff joint is the acronym SITS. SITS, where the S stands for supraspinatus, I for infraspinatus, T for teres minor, and S subscapularis. And so whenever we're preparing for a posture like Gomukhasana, we can first identify what muscle is doing what. And we can start by first identifying it where it is in our bodies. And so if we take into consideration our own bodies, we can easily learn to spot them. So here's my scapula, my shoulder blade. So with SITS, the first one is supraspinatus. Supra means above, spinatus, the spine. What spine? Well, if we consider the scapula, there is this bony structure in the scapula that kind of looks like a spine. They call it the spine of the scapula. And here it is. Infra and supra. So supra means above, infra means below. So supraspinatus, above the scapula, infraspinatus, below the spine. And they both attach here. The T for teres minor, it's also a small muscle around here, with the infraspinatus. The subscapularis is more challenging because it's from the not from the outside part of the scapula, but below the scapula. So it's pretty much if we were to go through here, through like the armpit, from the inside. And the subscapularis comes out and attaches around here. And so if we wanted to prepare for Gomukhasana, we can do exercises that really focus on each of these muscles. So let's begin with the S, the supraspinatus. So what is this muscle? What does it do?